Here we are, guys, starting a brand new series here on the channel. Guys, today we are starting up Tim Hansen's map analysis series. We're going to be taking a look at every single map in chronological order. Let's jump right into this. We got Nacht Der Untoten up first, guys. Oh, classic cutscene. Classic. I still remember the first time I saw this cutscene, right after the World at War campaign, when you're thrown right into it. Nazi zombies. I remember it was terrifying, though. I remember that.
Boys and girls, how you doing? I'm Tim. Welcome back. I finished analyzing all of the Black Ops 3 Zombies maps, so if you guys want to go check those out, there's a playlist including all of those. The reason why I started with
we'll be taking a look at those, but we're gonna do these in chronological order.
BO3 is because I made an analysis video on Shadows, not intending to make a series of it, and then I followed that with Derision Drac, and you guys liked them so much that I decided to do all of them. So we're gonna come back to World at War with Nacht, and we're gonna go all the way back up to BO3, skip over BO3 since we already did it, and then go into BO4, if that makes any sense. Today, we're going to look at none other than the classic Nacht Der Untoten.
Nacht Der Untoten. It sounds like there's something going on with his mic a little bit. It's clipping. I don't know if it's picking that up in the video recording, but it's doing that a little bit right now.
World at War Zombies.
But that's alright, we'll get through it.
This is the foundation of what we now know as Treyarch Zombies. This bonus experience was unlocked upon completion of the campaign in World at War. The map launched over a decade ago, back in 2008. Do you feel old yet? Being the first Zombies map ever, it would
incredibly
naturally
old.
Be the simplest Zombies
incredibly
map.
old.
The most straightforward Zombies experience you can get. There are 3 doors, and in the World at War version, the only notable feature is the ray gun. There are no traps, no perks.
That's right. The only thing that we had in Nacht Der Untoten was the base game. We got our guns, no perks, but we do have something very cool in that box, the ray gun.
Pretty much nothing. You relied heavily
most sought after item during this time.
So you could run around with a flamethrower, camping in a corner with an LMG was sort of the way to go. The map is so bare bones, so straightforward.
The MG42 specifically.
Not much to analyze. It's not an Origins or a Garage Crovy that you could spend 20, 30 minutes talking about. It's a small bunker with 3 rooms.
It's true.
The map is very old, and the big question is, does this map hold up in 2019 or 2020 or 2021 or any of the years following? How?
Personally, it's gonna hurt to say this, but I don't know if I think Nacht Der Untoten holds up here now in 2023. This video is a few years old, but I don't know if it holds up, because while it was a great map at the time, and it was just, I mean, it's still a great experience, I guess, to hop into for the atmosphere, but the gameplay itself is kind of dry, kind of leaves you wanting more. But I think that's because you already know what to expect from the future maps to come, so it's hard to go back to Nacht Der Untoten when you have bigger expectations because of the other maps.
How long could this map possibly last? Clearly, anyone with a copy can play it. The real question is, how does it shape up in modern Zombies? It's important to note that over time, unlike many other maps, this map has evolved. We've seen many variations of it. It was even part of the campaign back in World at War. It was remastered in Black Ops 1 Zombies alongside the other World at War maps when purchasing Moon in the Resurrection Pack. We then saw a glimpse of it in Green Run, which was disgusting. It was reimagined in Revelations, and then it was remastered in Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicles. Each version adding something new to the table, something that the last version didn't have. In that respect, Nacht is like the Nuketown of the Zombies mode. We've seen it done so many times in so many different fashions that we're so familiar with it. When remastered in BO1, it brought in a couple of
you give it to us, it's kind of exciting because it's nostalgic, but that's really all it's got. It's got that nostalgic value, and I don't know if there's anything past that.
Features, the most notable of which, the Thunder Gun alongside the Monkey Bombs, and one singular perk in Mule Kick, which isn't very good considering you don't have Jug or Quick Revive or anything else. But nonetheless, it was something. And on top of that, in the Zombies Chronicles version, it gave you a Ray Gun Mark II alongside a Wonder Fizz machine, which gave you all of the perks. Also, Gobblegum machines. Clearly, there's a massive difference between the World at War Nacht and the Black Ops 3 Nacht. World at War Nacht was the most challenging experience ever. Not only did you have very little space to work with, you had no perks, you had no great wonder weapons.
It was hard.
Tons of splash damage.
It was
There just
hard.
wasn't much meat on the bones. The Black Ops 1 version was...
Yeah, you got the splash damage from the ray gun, and then you got very minimal space to work with. So, Nacht Der Untoten, I feel like, is a map for, like, it's still a great map to show skill, just pure zombie skill, because, well, like maneuvering, at least your training skills, I guess. Not very good places to train, but if you can manage to survive on this map, That says something. That says
Slightly
something.
easier, but not much easier. You had a Save Me Wonder weapon, but that was just about it. You'd quickly run out of ammo and get cornered the same way you would in World at War. In Black Ops 3, with a Wonder Fizz machine and a Gobblegum machine, things got much easier. You could obtain pack-a-punched weapons, you could slow down the zombies, you could have tons of drops spawn in. BO3 Nacht Der Untoten was a very feasible high-round attempt now. Sure, it was still more challenging than other BO3 maps, but with the overpowered features and double pack-a-punch and Gobblegum, it would be the easiest.
Definitely would be the easiest, and then you could still utilize all those old tactics from the OG Noct, like either training downstairs in the help room or camping up at the top of the stairs where these guys are right now in this clip.
When asking, does Nacht Der Untoten still hold up, it's hard to pinpoint which version we're talking about. So instead of making it about one specific version, let's speak generally. And since everybody has their own map preferences and play styles, we'll speak generally of the community. The majority of—
What's your play style? Leave it down in the comments. Seriously, I'm curious to see where everybody is at play style wise. Are you more of a casual? You like high rounding and just like kind of playing the game, or are you more of like a hardcore player who likes the Easter eggs and the lore? What kind of player are you?
The zombies community is casual. I'd say 80%. So generally, the zombies community leans towards simpler maps.
80%
Not necessarily
casual in our
easier,
community.
just simpler to understand. 20% of the community
Fair.
is hardcore. They go for world records, they grind out Easter egg speedruns, and all that kind of stuff. They enjoy the lore that the casual people don't necessarily bat an eye to. Not to mention, the story of Noct is very easy to follow. A couple of vehicles carrying 115 were crashed into by the plane. The surviving Marines make their way to the bunker and fight off the zombie horde. Anyways, by this logic, you've got an approximate 80% approval rating. 80% of the community is casual, Nacht Der Untoten is casual. And even those hardcore players like to chill out and play a game of Noct every now and then. When you really think about it, there aren't many people out there that hate this map. Because there isn't much to hate.
You can't hate Nacht Der Untoten. Nacht Der Untoten's a classic map. You can't hate it. It's OG. It's OG.
It is as simple as it gets. You're just killing zombies, and unless you hate zombies, you likely enjoy it. So what I've established here is that pretty much anyone can get behind Noct because of how little there is to not like about it. You may be thinking, well, no shit, but there are zombies maps out there that the community generally doesn't approve. For example, Bus Depot and Farm are equally, if not smaller maps than Nacht Der Untoten, but they're disliked far more, which goes to show that simple maps can be hated. But Nacht Der
simple maps
Untoten
can definitely be
just
hated.
isn't. We as a community—
That's because Nacht Der Untoten still has that hits home factor. Whoops.
But how does it size up to a Black Ops 3 or a Black Ops 4 map? Modern zombies. Well, really, they're polar opposites. Modern zombies maps are huge and expansive. There's oftentimes a very difficult and lengthy setup process, but with easy high rounds because of overpowered wonder weapons.
Yeah, but I personally think that the setup process is definitely a huge part of the map and the way the gameplay goes, and whether or not you're gonna like that map, because the setup process is playing the map. So yeah, there's not very much setup to do in Nacht Der Untoten. So like he said, there's not very much to like about it. There's not very much to not like about it. It's just sort of there. It's vanilla, but it's still's got that atmosphere that Nacht Der Untoten's famous for.
Noct is the antithesis of this. It's a very small map, very straightforward, and I mean, you could probably fit 40 of these things in a map like Origins. Setting up is nothing. You just spin the box. But because there's so little to work with, and because there's nothing you're setting up to get, the high rounds—
Which is why we got the NDU scale, the Nacht Der Untoten's how we measure our maps—
are very difficult. You're constantly burning through ammo, you have no perks, traps aren't an option. When juxtaposed to a modern zombies map, Nacht Der Untoten is nothing like it. And rightfully so, it was the first map ever created. Since Noct is nothing like a map that would be developed in 2019, you'd think that it wouldn't shape up in 2019. A map like Nacht Der Untoten is completely obsolete. Nobody could ever go back and play such a dull experience. And hey, that might be the case for some of you guys, but for me, it's quite the opposite. I think Nacht Der Untoten stands strong to this day. Obviously, the Black Ops 3 remaster stands a lot stronger than the World at War version, but Nacht Der Untoten largely is still a great map. After playing Black Ops 4 Zombies and dealing with its intricacies and its complexity, a map like Nacht Der Untoten is actually crucial. Sometimes we just need to play a game of mindless zombies. It's like yin and yang. On one side, you
can't always be playing the difficult stuff, can't always be running the Easter eggs. Sometimes you just gotta hop on Nacht Der Untoten with the boys.
Maps, and on the other side, you got the simple maps. It's nice to have a balance. After a game of Voyage of Despair, if I want to continue to play, I'm gonna probably hop on a simpler map, and Nacht Der Untoten serves this purpose. The same thing could be said about other simple maps like Verrückt, Shinonuma, Derice, and like I said earlier, some simple maps can't
spicier
say that,
as you move along.
Or Farm. Those maps, in my opinion, don't hold up in 2019. Nacht Der Untoten is simplistic beauty, it's pure nostalgia, and it's a great map. A map created
Exactly.
over a decade
Yep,
ago
pure
is still
nostalgia.
strong to this day, and I think it holds up in 2019. And I know that was quick and not too in-depth, but guys, that's all I've got for you. That is
That's
my
it.
Nacht
I mean,
Der
that's
Untoten
really all
analysis.
for Nacht,
Really, I could
you
just
know?
go on and on about how
There's
it's
not
bare
much to
bones
say.
and nostalgic and all that, but you guys already get that.
Yeah.
And honestly, there isn't much to say about the map.
It's a
Next
short
episode
video.
will be
We get
Verrucht,
it.
and then it'll be Shinonuma, Dries, and then yada yada yada. So hopefully
You guys know
enjoy
what's
this.
up.
Make
We're
sure
going to
to
be doing all the map reviews. We're going to do them in chronological order. I've personally already taken a look at all of the videos on the Smith Plays channel for his retrospective series. So I was going to do those because he's my favorite YouTuber ever. But guys, make sure to check out Tim Hansen's channel because these videos were the videos that actually inspired the retrospective series on Pat's channel. So guys, check out Tim Hansen. Great channel, great video. I think that's a perfect description of Nacht Der Untoten. Guys, we're going to hop into Verrucht whenever we come back to this. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace out.